Happy Friday, everybody, here at Wilson Toyota of Ames, talking with Tron, Chris Williams, of course, Tron Smith. Had a big show last night, Tron, our first call-in show of 2012 at Buffalo Wild Wings. And what's your favorite wing choice? I guess the first, before we talk hoops, what's your favorite wing?
I like the teriyaki wing. But you know what? Bone in, my friend. Bone in.
No, why would you go bone in? I'm totally a boneless guy.
I don't like the boneless, man. No. Boneless like a fake chicken, man. Who eats fake chicken?
I'll eat the fake chicken if it tastes like that. Asian zing. That's the way to go. I can eat Asian zing every day of the week.
The problem with that Asian zing is it goes in hot and comes out hotter. Just remember that. But it's a good spot, man. It was a good show. We had a good time.
Had a lot of fun. We're looking forward to doing it all basketball season long. I want to remind you, February 2nd, Tron, the big CycloneFanatic.com third annual recruiting party featuring this guy, Tron. We talked about it earlier in the week. Tron is going to give a State of the Nation speech to all the Cyclone fanatics in attendance at the Cake Stand in West Des Moines that night. So get ready. You know, the whole "Are you ready?" thing you see at halftime. Yeah. Just imagine what it's going to be like in that setting with this guy.
Oh, and I'll tell you this: if you didn't make it last year, get there early, or you will definitely be standing. This place gets packed. It's a big place, though. It's a great place, awesome venue. Get there early because it will definitely be standing room only. It's a great event. I'm excited.
Tron, we had the Wilson Toyota Try for 5 on Wednesday night. Man, the guy knocked down 4 of 5. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I hadn't. I've only seen 4 shots made before, and it was from Lindsay Metters Finland.
Yeah.
You know, she made 4. So
she
Lindsay,
made us pony up the dough for that
there
one.
you go. If you're listening, you got a little competition out there. But you know the great thing about this guy, Eric, that came up on Wednesday, the guy drove all the way from Crescent, Iowa, just to watch the Texas game. So he said he was at the Oklahoma State game also, so that was great.
I think we give that guy another shot at some point, see if he can knock all 5 down.
That works. I'm with it.
All right.
You know, maybe the end of the year we'll let him shoot last.
It makes a lot more of a fun segment when a guy actually has a shot to make a couple of them.
You know, and even better, it makes it when you're up at halftime. It really helps that too. And then, you know, the only complaint I have is that I had to go before quick change, which is probably that's my favorite, all-time favorite deal.
I can't stand quick change.
I like quick change.
They've done the same thing for like 200 years.
But it's still entertaining.
It was entertaining the first 27 times I saw it, okay? I think they follow me around. Whatever sporting event I'm going to, quick change appears.
I only see it at Hill, but let me ask you this. Have you figured out how it works yet?
No.
You've seen it 20 times and you still haven't figured out how it works.
Well, it's pretty simple, Tron. It's magic.
Oh, jeez.
It's magic. All right, want to talk little hoops?
Let's do it.
Big win on Wednesday. I thought that what's encouraging to me, Tron, is that you all of a sudden have a guy like Anthony Booker who's stepping up and filling in some holes here. And you've got these guys who are Chris Allen's finally. I think he can be a lot better than he's been, but he's kind of starting to play to his ability. Chris Babb snapped out of the funk that he was in, and Royce was Royce. I mean, if you can keep the consistency going, this can be a team that can potentially, I say that very lightly, go 500 in the Big 12. I still don't think that they will, but I think it's a possibility now, and it sure is fun to have enough talent to know that you can win any night you go out on the floor.
And you know what I saw Wednesday night is everybody's doing their job.
Yeah.
You know, when everybody does their job, you get a good team. Now, I don't feel that they're to the potential that I thought they would be just watching them last year, you know, in practice and things like that. But it was really encouraging to see Chris Babb having a good game, which is I thought would be the normal for him. Chris Allen, I like him playing point guard. You know, I like Scotty being that the 2. Those little changes that Fred, the coaching staff, has made, they look good, man. Now, Royce White, it's got to be the hair, dude. It's got to be the hair.
And
it's the little chuckle, you know. It's kind of like the, you know, I noticed after the dunk on Wednesday night, you know, the little Joker smile that he gave everybody. You know, that's kind of
the whole. Yeah, he stuck his tongue out and did that, and then that deal shook the head.
We need guys like that on this team.
He's got some swagger to him. He certainly does. You know, I think Royce. We just got to keep Royce around that. You know, 13, 14 points, get him close to 10 rebounds. I was talking to our guy Adam Gray earlier today, and he made a great point about Royce White, where he's not the strongest free throw shooter in the world, but even him getting to the line, you're fouling other guys out on the other team, even if he's only going to shoot 50% from the free throw line, which is still big. It's still, I hated it. I hated the fact that they even gave Royce White the opportunity to have the basketball at the end of that game when he knew Texas was going to foul. But at the same time, you know, when you go to the line, 14, 15, 16 times like he did, that's a pretty good weapon.
You know, the other thing is, you know, I'm not so against him having the ball. I like the fact, let me tell you why I like him having the ball. Late in that second half, that behind the back pass, even though Edge missed that, are you kidding me?
Just nasty.
Who makes that pass? That's like Allen Iverson. I mean, this is a big man that distributes the ball very well. So, you know, he's such a threat. You know, he's such a threat. You know, that one play where he brought them from coast to coast, I was thinking to myself, there's no way this guy, this 6'10" guy is going to guard him from coast to coast and be able to stop him.
Is there another 6'8" player in America that can do that?
No.
I don't think there is.
You know, my advice to Royce is that confidence that you have when you're scoring and you're dunking on people, I want to see that the entire game, because listen, I don't know if there's too many teams that had an answer for this guy.
Last point on basketball before we move on to a little pinstripe bowl recap. I think the one thing that did concern me last night, Texas is big man. I have a feeling that's going to happen to Iowa State a lot because that Chapman guy looked like an all-Big 12 player. Iowa State doesn't really have a matchup for a 6'10" Division I basketball player at this point. Now maybe somebody emerges into that, but it scares me to think what Mr. Robinson down at Kansas is going to do to that front court.
You know what? It's going to be ugly, but we'll see it. You know, we saw a little glimpse of Jordan Rayleigh. I don't think the kid's ready to play a guy like that, but you know what? That's the best height we have. I say put him in there early, let him bump him around. You know what? Use the fouls. That's why we give them to you.
Exactly, and at least Jordan Rayleigh is going to contested a guy. You know, he's not just going to let him drive right by him. That's what I like about Jordan Rayleigh.
There you go.
We're here at Wilson Toyota today. A little different scenery. We got this cool TV back behind us. How are Christmas sales? You knock it out?
Oh man, it was unbelievable. We closed the year out really good. A lot of people, you know, 2212 South Dove Avenue. This is a hopping spot.
It is.
People just come and hang out. You know, a lot of wives were doing shopping and afterwards taking stuff back. So we had a lot of guys down here spending all kinds of money.
Did you get to do the drive a car up with a bow on it? Any of that this year?
I didn't get to do that this year.
Does that actually happen? Because you see commercials.
Yes. You know, before Christmas, there was a guy, his wife's birthday. He did it, so that was kind of cool. So it happens, man.
So if you come in and you buy a car for your wife for Christmas, do you have to pay for that giant bow, or is that something Wilson Toyota puts?
Not if you bring it back, you don't have to pay for it. But
so
if you want to keep the bow, you know.
You've got like limited bows lying around here.
We have big bows, little bows, you name it. As long as you bring the bow back, we'll let you borrow it.
All right, Pinstripe Bowl, it was ugly. Kind of put a damper on the end of the year, Tron. Nonetheless, I think still a really successful year, all in all. In that, and Courtney Messingham, the new offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts on how all the news from the last week?
We had this conversation on the show at Kibbe's, and you said, "What did I think about who should they put in there?" What was my first?
You said Courtney Messingham.
I said Courtney Messingham. I thought it would be great. He's a good fit. He's already there. He kind of understands what Paul's looking for. I'm glad that they did. Of course, we always hate to lose an offensive coordinator, but we got another guy filling in. The Pinstripe Bowl, man, it was, you know. I looked at that and I said, man, that was not the best showing, you know, and I'm not a Hawk fan, you know that, but just a terrible showing for Iowa as a state in general.
Yeah, that was just a bad day.
it was really bad. I found myself not really wanting the Hawks to lose after we lost, and that's really
doesn't happen very often.
But you know, here's the deal. Going into the season, everybody expected us to have 2 wins. We ended up going to a bowl game, 2 bowl games in 3 years for this coaching staff. You know what? I can't complain.
I think the sky's the limit for next year too. I mean, you got a little bit of a quarterback deal going on now. Here's the deal, Tron. I think that was going to happen anyways. I mean, I did being around this staff and covering them for the last 3 years. I just found it really hard to believe that Jared Barnett was going to walk into spring football, regardless of how the season ended, and be the starting quarterback. That was not going to ever happen. If that's the case, how do you explain that to a Sam Richardson who's been working his butt off during his redshirt year in an attempt to be able to play next year? Same with Steele Jans. I think I've seen enough of Steele Jans to, I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover, but I've read about 4 or 5 chapters now, and I mean, Steele has some great upside, and maybe learns everything a little bit more, and he's a lot better as a senior. I don't know. He kind of left a sour taste in my mouth where he was healthy. He had his shot to go out there and improve himself and really throw his name into that hat. I don't think he did. I think Steele kind of dropped the ball. I'm not saying, I think it's a 3-man race going into next year, but Jared Barnett's my odds-on front runner.
You know, the nice thing is, you know, I thought that at some point somebody would actually prepare for Jared Barnett, and I think that's what Rutgers did. If you go back and watch that game, they really tried to contain him and keep him in the pocket. And when you're 6 foot tops and you're trying to throw behind a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", it just doesn't work. And I think Rutgers done a great job at that. You know, it was kind of neat to see Steele. I thought maybe at that point, if Jared wasn't hurt, maybe just kind of intertwine them. You really didn't have much going on. You didn't have much to lose. I'm excited about the race next year. Not that it's a 2-person race, that it's a 3-person race.
Yeah.
I do not expect to see Steele Jans as our quarterback next year. But, you know, I mean...
who knows?
You know what?
Who knows? We never really thought that Jared Barnett would be the guy who did what he did this year either.
Well, we always thought that Jared was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Our only question was his height. and he kind of, as long as he can get out of the pocket and throw the ball, it works out well. I'm excited. I'm glad. There's a lot to be excited for Cyclone football next year.
Hey, just so you know, spring football is just around the corner, Tron. Just around the corner. But we got a lot of hoops coming up again every Thursday from now until the end of basketball season. The Wilson Toyota call-in show at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ames. I'm going Asian Zing probably half the week, so I'm going to be trying some different things. The Parmesan garlic gets rave reviews. I know I never tried that one, but Tron's going to stick with the teriyaki.
Yeah, you know what? I like to keep it simple, man. There's two things I don't mess with: my stomach and
we need to get Tron some Inferno here one of these weeks.
No.
Just see what happens.
I don't even like black pepper.
Because you bailed on us. We were going to get you the two doubles down at Kippy's place for our last show, and you didn't end up coming.
That's easy for me, man. I can eat 2 Kippy's burgers with my eyes closed.
So let's go down and do it for lunch someday, right? Tron Smith here, Wilson Toyota of Ames. What's your phone number? Somebody, because a lot of people I know, they get tax returns coming up. Good time to buy a car in the month of February.
It's perfect. Give us a call, 515-232-4081. Call us directly. You know what? Get through, ask for me. Come down, take a look at things. You know what? The Camry right now is a great deal. It's all new, redesigned, not like yours. It's even better than yours.
The nice lease, though, because I got in on that awesome lease at the start of 2012 or 2011. Is that the same kind of deal?
It's good. It's not. I'm gonna tell you where the deal is right now. For
What's
all
the
you
deal?
guys looking for something hybrid, the Prius right now for the next 32 days, 0% financing out to 60 months. Listen, you want to get 51 miles to the gallon? This is the car for you.
Gas is going to go up again in the summer. It always does. Prius would be a good buy. Good buy for somebody.
Feels like the summer all week.
It does. It does. All right, here we go. Tron Smith, Wilson Toyota of Ames. We'll be back next week with another video. Of course, Thursday night, 7 to 8, 1460 KXNO. Wilson Toyota call-in show from Buffalo Wild Wings in Ames. So long, everybody.